Hello, everybody. Welcome to another live stream. Of course, we're starting out with this wonderful view that we have here at Travelers on the Deck. And let's switch back to me for a second. There I am. Hello. Welcome, everybody. Hope everybody had a good New Year's Eve celebration and their 2022 is starting out spectacularly. We are starting out here on the deck of Travelers, of course, in Negril. And always appreciate everyone joining in and kind of hopping on the live. As I mentioned before, on the live stream we did on New Year's Eve, I'm doing my best to try and do these every Sunday. That's the goal here, is to do every Sunday at 12 o'clock. We do a live stream from here on the deck at Travelers, looking at the beach on the grill, and hopefully we can do it at some other locations throughout Jamaica. It depends. I would love to take this on the road. I think this is so much fun, being able to interact with you all out there from all over the world, and then also being able to share a little piece of paradise down here in the grill and at Travelers. Always fun, and I hope you all appreciate the view. It's better. I used to do them in these live streams from my studio, which is also cool and a little bit easier, to be honest, but this adds such another dynamic, a different dynamic, and I think everyone appreciates it. Let me know where you're from in the comments. As always, I appreciate everybody taking the time out to hang out with us here. Happy New Year to you all. Happy New Year, Donna. Happy New Year, Navlet. Thank you for hopping in on the live stream today. Second day of the year. And we have a short agenda today, which I will throw up on the screen. I'd like to hop into it quickly so we can really get down to the Q&A, which is always my favorite part of these live streams, is to be able to interact with you all live. Of course, I love interacting with you in the comments and responding to your questions, comments, concerns, whatever they may be on the videos that I put out. But I think this is much more effective and also just a little bit more intimate. It'd be nice if we can talk, and maybe we can do that sometime in the future. Bring on some people who are in the comment section, who are in the audience, and start having conversations. But let's get the agenda up there. So short and sweet, we got Negril in the news, which is not too much, but nonetheless, we'll bring that up. And then we have bringing in 2022, which will be a short synopsis recap on what New Year's Eve was like here in Negril. And of course, the lion's share of today's live stream will be interacting with you all and answering your questions and any comments that you have. So looking forward to all of that, and let's hop into the first agenda item of the day. I do want to, for those who weren't here on the live stream on New Year's Eve, I think this is worth bringing up again, but Negril was deemed the top 10 beach, one of the top 10 beach towns to visit in 2022, which is, I'm super stoked about. So this is by the Caribbean Magazine. So I'm not going to go too much into that because I mentioned it already, but for those who weren't here, I thought it was worth mentioning again. And then the other thing that I brought up on New Year's Eve was that we have our own French ambassador representative here in Negril, and Sophie Grizzle, who is the daughter of Daniel Grizzle, who I had the pleasure of having on the podcast. I think I released it about 3 weeks ago or so, which has been going pretty well and has been getting a lot of great feedback. So worth mentioning both of those things. I would say I'm proud of, and we as Negrilians are also proud of. So I thought it was worth mentioning again. Also want to bring up this news article. So this is actually from a few weeks ago, not super new, not even a few weeks ago. I guess we can call it last week, as a matter of fact. So in the live stream I did on New Year's Eve, somebody had asked me about the occupancy levels in Negril currently, and as I said in the live stream, it's like we're pretty good. You can't really tell from this angle on the beach, but there are quite a few people here. And of course, we have the the variant that's out there which is of course a concern. And there was just I believe a small poll that was taken, or at least answered by our local representative of the Jamaica Hotel and Tourist Association here in Negril about cancellations recently, which we here at Travelers have had. I can't speak to specifics in terms of, amount or percentages or anything like that, but we've had a few for sure. And as it's saying in this article, it's not, generally speaking, specifically to Negril, that it isn't at an alarming rate. People aren't canceling in droves like we've had in, I'd say, previous phases of this pandemic, where it's Delta was pretty bad. That when that happened, we did have a lot of cancellations, and people were concerned, and rightfully so. And yeah, anytime something shifts in this pandemic and the dynamics changes, of course people are going to react into that in the best way that they feel that they need to protect themselves and their families. But it's just good that it was reported that we didn't lose like a tremendous amount of bookings, at least from a broad perspective. Happy New Year, everybody. Thank you guys for joining. Hey, Brianna. Thanks for the comment. Jersey in the house. Yeah, let me know where you all are from. I love hearing where you're from. Donna from Ottawa. Snowy Ottawa at that. Sorry that it's snowing there. And I'm showing you this beautiful beach that we have here. Not to make you jealous, but hopefully to inspire you to come down sometime soon and get out that snow. Let's see who we also have in the comment. Novelet from New Jersey. Spending holidays in Montego Bay. Awesome. Thank you for joining. Thank you for hopping on. Simone from Hamburg, Germany. Awesome. Hi, Simone. How are you? Thank you for joining again, all the way from Germany. I think that's so awesome, especially when we have people from like so far away. I think that's incredible what we can do with technology today. Willicia, I hope I'm saying that right. Happy New Year to you as well. Yep, definitely. Can't wait to have you down. CC from London, UK. Welcome. Thank you for hopping on. Got Michael. Happy New Year. Gordon, Happy New Year from New York City. Hope the weather isn't too bad there right now. Got Denver in the house. Arthita, I hope I'm saying that right. Happy New Year to you as well, all the way from Denver, Colorado. I went there once back in 2015. Didn't stay in Denver, but I stayed in, we were in Boulder. Me and my brothers did a retreat there for the business. Love it up there. Great place for running, as you know, but probably not right now. Donna from Georgia, welcome. Thank you for being here. Happy New Year. Doxy, welcome. Happy New Year to you. Thank you for joining. Thank you all. Happy New Year to you all. Happy New Year to everybody. Hope you guys had good celebrations. We did here as well at Travelers and Negril. So that's the next thing I want to hop into. I don't have much else in Negril news, but I guess this is news. Just talking about how the New Year's Eve celebrations was for us here at Travelers, and also Negril in general. It was pretty, I mean, it was nice. And if I'm obviously going off of a memory here in comparison to last year, and I was here and spent most of the time on New Year's Eve this year on the southern part here, closer to Travelers. And last year I was more in the northern part, more closer to the all-inclusives. It seemed like there was more people here. I just visually, anecdotally, than last year, which kind of makes sense with everything that was going on and is going on at this time. And I did take a little bit of a walk up the beach. I'd say I don't think we walked up quite a mile, but a little less than that. And there were things happening. There were quite a few different party venues that were happening. I did bring my camera with me, so I am going to put out a YouTube short and I'll do that this week. Hopefully, I'll try to get it edited today, and if I don't get it out today, I'll have it out tomorrow, just so everyone could just get a feel of what it was like, particularly here at Travelers, and then also going up the beach, which was very, very interesting and really happy to see. They were Bourbon, of course. Bourbon Beach is a big entertainment venue here on a regular basis. So that place had a lot of people there. That was definitely the biggest party venue that I saw. It's outdoors. It's on the beach. You make what you can or will of that information. Woodstock had a private party. Alfred's had a private party. These are different venues as you go up the northern part of the beach. It was literally like, if you're familiar with Negril, like there is like a bar, a hotel, like right next to each other. And if there isn't one, very close within feet, there's another bar, our restaurant, our party venue close to one another. So you had a plethora of choices of where you wanted to go to bring in the new year. And just in general, like the vibe was just super chill. Everybody seemed really happy and excited. And at least I would say you can tell that people haven't been out in a long time. And that was probably the truest when I was driving home. I didn't leave Travelers until about 1:30, and the traffic was pretty backed up. Usually it's about a 10-minute drive. I'd say it probably took me 35 minutes, which isn't terrible. I waited. If I had left shortly after midnight, it would have probably been an hour or maybe longer. But at the time, 35 minutes to get home. And there were just a lot of people, ton of young people. And you got to think and that, they haven't been out in how long? They haven't got together and gathered in how long? Probably months, maybe even years for some people. So it was just good to know and see that there was some reprieve and people had something to look forward to for New Year's Eve. We are still under curfew, so I believe we're back to 10 p.m. if I'm not mistaken, but it was actually 1 a.m. for New Year's Eve. Obviously, I told you when I left at 1:30, so it went a little bit over. I don't know what time it went till, but there were still definitely tons and tons of people on the road at 1:30, which was good to see in terms of just people getting together and having a good time. Of course, fingers crossed. I hope that doesn't mean that cases are going to spike or anything like that. I hope people were being safe and doing their best to protect themselves and their family. But at the end of the day, it was a celebration that for 2022, in my opinion, was very well deserved. Here at Travelers, we had a relatively small gathering, as I mentioned on the live stream that I did for New Year's Eve or on New Year's Eve. We didn't advertise it. I'll switch back to the beach view while I talk here. So we didn't advertise our New Year's Eve party just because we're just trying to maintain the protocol standards that have been put in place by the government, and just try to do our best to protect our guests and our team members that we have here. And it was a pretty good celebration. We had a live band. We had Ayana Gregory perform. She did an amazing job. I mean, I was really blown away by her performances. She did her own pieces, which were I forget the name of the song that she opened with, but I think that was my favorite performance of the night. I do have that recorded, and I will be putting that out this week. And she also did some international songs. The band was fantastic. Everybody really had a great time here at Travelers. And like I said, we didn't advertise it, or we didn't want to advertise it because we wanted to keep the numbers low and do our best just to really focus on our guests. But we did have a good amount of people. There were some outside people. We didn't turn anybody away. And if you wanted to come and have dinner and ring in the New Year's with us, that was fine. But again, we did our best not to turn this into a major event, which we have done in the past. And this was more chill than anything else and intimate. We also had a bonfire as well, which was super cool. We lit that a little bit before midnight. And there were also a bunch of other bonfires going up and down the beach, which is kind of part of the Negril character, our personality, if you will, is having these bonfires, especially on New Year's Eve. We also had fireworks, which I wasn't sure we were going to have. I didn't hear anything about it, but there were fireworks from different locations down the beach, and I think everybody appreciated it. You know, it was really, really awesome to see that so much effort went into celebrating 2000, saying goodbye to 2021 and celebrating the incoming year of 2022. And I think people really appreciated the effort of these different venues, because it has been a rough year, has been a rough 2 years for many businesses, many hotels, many restaurants. And hopefully, again, as I continue to mention, like, you know, fingers crossed, this is the end and we're coming to the closing of this pandemic that we're in. I was going to call it hopefully the season finale, or whatever, the show's finale, that we're in the fourth quarter of this thing. But who knows what's going to happen, who knows what the future holds. But we're just going to continue to do our best and to hang on and always prepare for the worst case scenarios as we move forward. But I think here, for the most part, at least the feedback that I've received from our guests, everybody had a really nice time. And I have to commend the staff here at Travelers Beach Resort. They did an excellent job, from setting up the decorations to the service. The food was fantastic. The service was great. And they worked really, really hard days in advance preparing for New Year's Eve. And then they executed really well on the night, evening, and morning of New Year's. And so I have to commend Travelers Beach Resort, the staff, and they did a fantastic job. Super proud of them. All right, let's hop over to the comments for a little bit. Welcome for those who are just joining. Happy New Year to everybody. Thank you all for hopping on. Maria, all the way from Gambia. Awesome. Thank you, Maria. I see you. Thank you for joining. Thank you for hopping on. Happy New Year to you. What time is it in Gambia? I will check on my phone, but I don't want to be rude. Just curious. Gordon Douglas, good morning. Happy New Year to you. Ocean Gray, Happy New Year. Thank you for joining. Rachel, afternoon. Heaven on earth. I don't disagree with you on that. Pretty nice here. Let's switch to that camera. Christine, Happy New Year. Thank you for joining. Shanna from Atlanta, welcome. Happy New Year to you. Happy to have you on. Awesome. Got a comment here from Terry Ann. She says, Happy New Year, Terry Ann. You were here. We were supposed to connect late last year to discuss the possibility of coming on your show. And now that the holidays are over. Yep. Hit me up on IG. Let's try to make it happen. Yep. Okay. I thought the mic went out. All right. We're still here. All right. Sade, afternoon. All right, we actually have my dad just decided to stop on by. I actually asked him to see if he wanted to stop on by and sit down with us. So I'm gonna set up the camera real quick, and we'll have a quick discussion with my dad. I don't know what we're going to talk about, but he's here. So hold on 1 sec. I'm gonna set up the camera. 30 seconds. All right, we're back. Okay, I'm going to give you the headphones, Dad, here.
Well, it's
All
sticking
right.
off here.
Good. All right, can you hear yourself?
It's better.
Okay, thank you all for bearing with me. Check the mic. Can you hear yourself? Talking to the mic, Dad?
Greetings to you, but
Talking to the mic.
greetings to you, my friend.
Can you hear yourself?
Yep.
Can you all hear him? Okay. All right. This is not sure what we're going to talk about, but thank you for hopping on. I don't know if you want to give it, like, what are your thoughts on your, I guess, 2022 looking forward? And I know you sent out an email for NEAT, which is our nonprofit organization, kind of giving a recap a little bit on 2021, and then also talked about mainly about 2021, but also about 2022. So I don't know if you want to share anything on that front.
Yes, but firstly, I'd like to say thank you for having me on your podcast. Thank you so very much. You've been doing a wonderful job with so far. And I'd like to take time out and wishing all our friends and colleagues from around the world happy, happy, happy New Year. And it's such a wonderful pleasure to be here, sitting on the beach in Negril. Could not be a better place to be at. Another cloud in sight, and so peaceful and tranquil. Everyone on the beach here, laying out there and having a wonderful time. And I just want to say thank you all for the wonderful support, especially my supporters and my donors and contributors to the NEAT organization. Thank you so much for your contribution, your prayers, and all the wonderful well wishers around. Thank you so much. Without you, we could not have such an organization as the Negro Education Environmental Trust. Our organization, as everyone might be aware of, been around for over 20 years. And we've had many, many, many accolades, many things that we've achieved and accomplished. And that could not have been done without friends, families, well wishers, and all the wonderful sponsors and donors. So, with that, I want to thank each and every one of you and wish you all the very best for this new year. But speaking a little bit about the year that has passed, of course, the pandemic has bogged us down and has curtailed a lot of the work that we normally do. However, during the past year, we are able to open our resource center immediately across the street from the hotel, where we have computers, Wi-Fi for children who are not in school, who are able to attend school directly from there in their various different schools, respecting social distancing, and was able to complete their schoolwork. So we're very grateful that that has been. And normally, the NEAT organization would have graduated 3 different classes from our tablet program, but because of the pandemic, we had to curtail all that. And only one class were able to do this year. Normally, it'd be 50 children, 50 parents who attend these classes. And this year, we're unable to graduate just 15 children, 15 parents on our tablet program.
Can you tell us like a little bit about what the curriculum is like in the
I beg your pardon?
Can you tell us what the curriculum is like in the tablet program?
Yes. Technically, what we
Sorry,
do...
my mic was on mute. So let me repeat my question. Can you tell us a little bit about what the curriculum was like in the tablet program, please?
Yeah, basically what we do is we teach the 4 principles of success, which are punctuality, honesty, a good attitude, and discipline, in which we require both parents and children to get this 100%. We also teach the 4 P's. The 4 P's are your passion. What do you do with your passion? You practice, practice, practice. You pray in it and have patience and let God do the story. Those are the 4 P's. Those are the 8 principles that we teach the children on a Saturday morning between the hours of 10 and 12, wherein we have teachers, volunteers who come by and help us to make that curriculum to be what it is. The teachers will teach about some of the schoolwork, some do a little Spanish, and a whole host of educational programs. I myself teaches those 8 principles that I mentioned before for the first half an hour of the classes. And of course, our classes are incentive based, and we require that everyone gets everything that we teach 100%. And if you do well in the class, we have complimentary day passes for our hotel and other hotels on the strip, who they can earn that if they do extremely well in the class. Other incentives that we've had in the past, so far we've had 7 trips to Disney World. So if you work hard and you accomplish your goals, you're able to be qualified to be on those trips. And we've been very fortunate also to have had a relationship with Totori in Japan, a province there that our mayor of Westmoreland has twinned Westmoreland or Totori. And I think that you yourself have had a couple of races there, if I remember correctly, that you have been to Japan twice, representing Jamaica Westmoreland, and as a marathon runner, and you did fantastically well. And I also want to congratulate you for that work. But 2 years in a row, the Japanese has come to our classes here in Jamaica and have teach our children a little Japanese, and we teach them a little bit about reggae. And the year before the pandemic, we are fortunate enough to have taken 10 of our students to Japan to learn a little bit about their culture as part of our international cultural exchange program.
Okay, thank you for the update on that. And if you all want to learn a little bit more about NEAT and what we do at NEAT, you can click the website down there below. Not click, that's the URL, I should say, neetja.com. And as my dad mentioned, like we do like amazing work, and we have the resource center that we opened up pretty much in the middle of the pandemic that was so necessary and continues to be so necessary, because many of the students, I would say most students in Jamaica, they just don't have the resources, whether it's the tablet or computer or smartphone, to be able to do online classing, or they just don't have internet connection, which is probably, they're both, I don't know which chicken or the egg, right? You know, if you don't have internet, what good is a tablet, right? So you need both of them, and the resource center does provide that, and kind of does its best to fill that gap. In addition, it's also like a safe learning space as well, in terms of not only following those COVID protocols, but it also, I think routine is so important for students. I think routine is so important for young people. And we accomplish that by having the kids come in, our students, I should say, come in during their normal schooling hours. And on top of that, there's a teacher there. There's a teacher there who's there the entire time, not only to oversee and supervise the students, but also when they have any difficulty with their work, whatever subject that it may be, they can hop in. The teacher hops in and assists them with that. So that's, to me, just like a little bit extra benefit, as opposed to staying at home and, you know, maybe mom or dad isn't versed in a particular subject area, but you have a professional educator there who can assist that student. So I thought that was very positive and very, very, very important. So I guess
there's a couple other points I'd like to
Sure.
make about our classes. It's an 8 weeks course, and that course is 2 hours a day, where I say
this is the Saturday classes.
Saturday classes,
Gotcha. Okay.
yeah, which we have in our conference room, 50 children, 50 parents, child must attend with a parent for the class to be effective. And we've had, some 2,000 graduates over those years. I'm talking about children and parents who graduated from the program. And each child uh, at the end of the program is blessed with a tablet. Each tablet has on it our Bible, our national anthem, our national pledge, encyclopedia, Khan Academy, a revolutionary way of teaching math and science, plus a set of do's and don'ts. Boys cannot wear their pants below the waist. Girls have to dress appropriately. Anger management, proper parenthood, each one teach one, and much, much more that are not on those tablets. We also teach them the use of those tablets, how to use it positively, because as you know, the tablet can be very used in a negative way. We make sure that the children learn the proper way of handling those tablets. We even have tablet competition where the children can make little movies and so forth, and much, much more to do with the program. And during the H3 course, we have a beach cleanup where the children come out in their t-shirt and we join forces with sometimes other organizations and we clean up the beach. And every class goes through this. Every child in our class has to plant a tree. We have a small farm that all children and parents are able to plant a tree. And another week, what we do is we take them out to the reef and teach them about the environment, because as you know, the name of our organization is Negril Education Environment Trust. So hence the children are able to learn about their environment. And then the last week of our classes, the children are able to save their money and buy groceries, and we take them to the Clifton Boys Home. And this is for every class that goes through that ritual. And we've been very proud of our achievements and our accomplishments. And it's been just a wonderful, wonderful experience for the children. And of course, one of the things that we want to do is make sure that every child who wants to go to college has a sponsor. So we've been linking children with sponsorship all sponsors from all over the world who said, yes, I like the way your classes are going. I'd like to support each child. And we've had this program of others adopting a child, helping them through their education rituals and so forth. So we invite others to join and support this cause, because we're much more than that. Because we'd love for this education program to be spread right across the island. If I could get every child in a program like this, I guarantee you we could put a big dent in crime, because a lot of the crime that we have in our country is based on lack of education, lack of opportunity. And what our organization do is give opportunities for those who would never have had a chance to be there. We've gotten to some schools that have taken from way up in the hills. We've taken them to our hotel and exposed them to meeting people from around the world. And I met a little girl from up in the hills who have never seen personally a white person except on television. And they're able to come here and meet, sometimes mingle with the guests. Sometimes, as you know, we have Cultural Day every year around Valentine's weekend. And we have the children come in from different schools and they perform different acts, singing, dancing, and so forth, other items. And then we have the buy a block program where our guests at the hotel would purchase a block and we use those blocks to build libraries. And part of our history is that we've built or contributed to over 20 libraries over those 20 odd years that we've been in business. And each library is equipped with 1,000 books, 10 computers, etc., etc., etc. And we've been doing this, and we're so proud of our achievement, our accomplishment, and the wonderful work that we've been able to have accomplished over those years. And it goes way beyond that. Now that we've opened our cultural center across the road, we have a program in which guests or anyone can come in and purchase a tree. And mostly we've been selling coconut trees. $100 to plant a tree, $100 a year to maintain the tree. And each $100 goes towards purchasing a tablet for these children. So that's a system that we put in place to raise funds, because as you know, we are a non-profit organization. And in order to raise funds, we have to be very creative. And that was one of the ideas that we came up with that we're using. And we just want to reach out and thank all our friends and guests who have been contributing to this World program. And we just wanted to say thank you so much.
All right. Thank you, Dad, for the update on NEAT and giving us a little bit of a background on what NEAT does on a day-to-day basis in its operation. Again, everybody, if you want more information, I encourage you to go to the website www.neatja.com, and then also check out their YouTube page as well, Negril Education Environment Trust. You could kind of see some of the videos or the works in those videos of what we do, and also, as my dad alluded to, the Japan trip that we've taken twice with once with NEAT and twice with me representing Jamaica in marathons. Moving away from NEAT a little bit, I do want to get a sense, and if you would care to share, like what is your on a day-to-day basis, like what is your normal day like, from when you get up to what you do during the day to when you head back to sleep?
Well, right now, because of the pandemic, I'm very restricted because, as you know, I'll be 81 this year, and they say old people must stay home, so to speak.
But you're here.
Yeah. But what I do is definitely leave home every day, and I'm here at the hotel. Of course, I supervise our program across the street at our center, with the teacher being there.
What do you do before you go
Yes.
to the program?
But before I do, I get up every morning and I do my different exercises. I do my breathing exercise. I drink my different concoctions. I gargle desperately every morning with my Listerine.
What are those concoctions? Because I know a lot of them are just natural.
Oh, there are so
remedies.
many of them that's inside the Aquadality. I know ginger, pepper, onion, all kind of crazy stuff that my housekeeper put in it. Turmeric, you name it, everything. She
Or
gave me.
you still do what you call it, soursop and
Yeah,
merengue?
yes, I drink soursop tea. I drink bush tea every morning. I have different bushes. We drink noni, herb tea, soursop, and many. There's so many bushes that we drink here. And I get a different one every morning, and that helps clear my system. As you know, on our little farm that we have, we produce honey, and I do over 200 bottles of honey every year. And every morning, I take a spoonful of honey with some turmeric in it, and that helps. Cinnamon, right? I think it is cinnamon. And a spoonful of that every morning. That's part of my ritual to get me going. And of course, after breakfast, I come down to the hotel and I relax, and then I drink my coconut water, and I go for 1 hour every day swimming. I just came back from swimming myself just now. I swim every day for 1 hour. I'm in the water because I'm not able to run the beach like I used to and like you're doing now, because the legs are beginning to get shaky. So what I do is I do my swimming, and it's part of my exercise routine that I do. And I also have a steam bath at home, which I steam 3 times a week. I go in there, I spend 15 minutes in that steam, and that helps to keep everything going, functioning, like they should do. So I'm very proud of that, and taking care of my health at this time. That's the main thing I have to focus on, apart from the education program. I do focus strongly on my health and make sure that I keep fit and strong. I want to be around for a little longer to be able to continue the work that I'm doing and to be able to, make a difference in this world. That's what I'm trying to do.
Okay, excellent. I think some people in the comments are impressed with your routine, and also with that one comment says, "Wow, Dad is 81, looks amazing."
Thank you so very much. I try my best. Yeah, indeed.
And then Donna says, "Your dad is way more attractive than me."
Wow. Awesome. No, no. Uh-oh.
Keep the comments coming, everybody. I think my dad likes them.
I like that one, Donna. Thank you for that. Yes.
Oh, very good, very good. Thank you for that. Yeah, I mean, the reason why I asked you that is just, I think it's like just cool to see and understand like the different like lifestyles and how different people's days go down here, especially somebody your age, and what that may look like for other people who are considering either moving here or spending more time here. And especially here in Negril, like, depending on what your lifestyle that you're looking to have, I mean, to me, like getting up and being able to swim and go on the beach every day. It's a life changing, it's life extending, I think, and it's something that I look forward to. And I would say for almost 10 years, I really took it for granted. Like I didn't go in the water. I was just focused on the hotel, focused on work, and I didn't really take advantage of this beautiful beach. And now I pretty much go in it every single day, I want to say, and going for a swim and really appreciating it as much as I possibly can. And I learned that from my dad because he's been doing it every day for as long as I can remember. Well, you used to walk the beach.
I used to walk. I started out running the beach when you guys were kids, and then of course I couldn't run as much as I did, and I started walking, and then of course till the legs start getting a little shaky. I restrict myself to swimming every day and walking in the water, and it feels so good after that exercise every day. So it's my lifeline. And I'm going to learn about that. Speaking about Jamaica and the lifestyle here, I would not change this for anything in the world. I've been fortunate to travel to almost 150 different countries. And oftentimes, and I think I was on the Ian Bowen show when he asked me, of all the countries you've been to, which is the best country? And then I look around and I think, and I've been to some wonderful, wonderful places. I've done 27 African countries, all the Caribbean islands, all over, you name it, I've been there. And when I think back, and the song says, nowhere no better than yard. And that's true. You understand? If you are able to come here and enjoy the wonderful scenery, right now I'm looking outside, although I see it every day, this wonderful beach, this wonderful coastline, you just can't beat it. There's no place in the world like this, of course. Our beach at one time was voted one of the 10 best beaches in the world, our Negril beach. And like I say, people I meet under this tree where I'm sitting, I meet people from all over the world. Places that I've been to, I could talk up to a person, and I used to be down the street from where they live, in their different countries. So this is such a wonderful, wonderful journey for me to be able to sit here and meeting people from around the world. Don't have to travel anymore, because of course, they already restrict me as an elder not to travel. So I'm enjoying life right here. I couldn't have asked for a better life. And I say to all Jamaicans around the world, I'm saying it, there is no better place to be than this wonderful island that we have here. We encourage everyone to come home and be a part of the economy and help contribute and make Jamaica be the place it is. A small island like ours, so our accomplishment is just phenomenal around the world that we've been able to accomplish so many things in so many areas. And like I say to you, we want to welcome not just Jamaicans, other people from around the world to come here, to stay here, to find a home, make a home. If you need some help on that, where to live and places like that, and information, please feel to check us. Check Throp out, and he will pass that information on to you.
So you've lived how long did you live in New York? 40 years?
No, well over 50 years.
50 years.
The taxi cab company is going to be 53
Right.
3 years. And
So you lived in New York for 50 years, had multiple businesses there, was a successful business person there, man. But eventually you decided that you wanted to move back and come home. What is your favorite, if you can compare, that is, what is your favorite part about living here in Jamaica as opposed to being in New York?
well, first of all, for me the tranquility, easy going, getting away from the hustle and bustle of the city, and be able to just cruise along through life journey, meeting so many wonderful, wonderful people. To be able to be blessed to have this location here, Travelers Beach Resort, that we built from scratch from day one. We started off with 3 cabins, and now we boast 50 rooms. And since I retired over 10 years ago, when I gave you guys the key, I must commend you on the wonderful job that you've done in terms of keeping the hotel to be one of at one time we were voted the best small hotel in Jamaica. Is it correct, if I remember correctly?
Yeah, we got the hotel, the award from Expedia for best hotel. I forget what year. I think was it 2015. I forget. I can't remember.
Whatever it is,
Yeah.
I wasn't involved, so I got to congratulate you guys.
Yeah.
And that's really wonderful. And to be able to sit here and do the work I do, I think about the work. I don't physically do the work. I give more than like the directives. And I want to thank the wonderful staff that I have, the wonderful people that does the work. I just more or less supervise. I come up with different ideas, but there are volunteers, teachers, and of course, even right here are the staff of Travelers Beach Resort. They've done a wonderful job in giving us the support that we have to be able to make the accomplishments that we've been able to do. So once again, I want to thank them tremendously. But again, coming home to Jamaica is a place to be. There's always somewhere that you can find that you can continue your lifestyle right here in Jamaica.
When's the last time you were in New York during the winter?
Oh, woo.
And do you miss the winters in New York?
Yeah. Of course, I'd never want to be there again, ever in the winter time. No, not when you have this beautiful weather here. I spoke to my friends, and oftentimes I take a bit when they told me how cold it is. I'll go on the video and I'll show them a picture of the beach, and they'll start cursing me out. But it's fun. It's fun just being there. It's just a wonderful place. I think it's in New York. It's almost 5 years now I've not been in New York. As you know, I've changed my New York address now to a Florida address in the U.S. But New York is a place I enjoyed. It's a place that given me some tremendous experience. You know, I had a nightclub in New York at one time. I had not just a taxi cab company, which is going over 53 years, although I no longer owns it. But we were pioneers in the days when people of color couldn't get taxi cab to take them from here to there, which we created started the so-called gypsy cab industry. And as you know, you might remember that I spent 25 years on the advisory board of the Tax and Means Commission, and I spent 25 years as the president of the Livery Car Association. So these are a wonderful experience for me to be able to have create some of these things that we speak about, from the taxi cab company to the hotel, being able to employ so many people. So many people have changed their lives, and it's a wonderful journey that I'm able to make this accomplishment. I'm so proud of you and my sons who have taken over and is doing such a wonderful job in following in my footsteps.
Of course, thank you for those commendations. And so I guess today's a Sunday. Would you say this is like a typical Sunday for you in terms of your schedule?
A typical Sunday today.
And what do you have going on for the rest of the day?
Well, what I do is I come down if our housekeeper is off on the weekends. So I come down and have breakfast, relax a little bit, go to the ocean and have my swim. And sometimes I'll go and get a massage or something like that. And always something to relax the mind and so forth. And of course, I'm always marketing not just the hotel, but our organization. So I get on my phone and send out these messages to my friends and colleagues, my sponsors and donors, always giving thanks for the support. So basically, that's what I do. There's nothing else to do but enjoy this wonderful life and meet these wonderful people that I do from around the world.
All right, last question, because I know you have something to do. What do you have any off-the-cuff advice for anybody who is thinking about moving here, specifically who are retiring here or considering retiring here? What advice do you have for folks who fall into that category?
Absolutely. Anyone who wants to retire here, I recommend that they do their research. It's so important to do your research, to understand what you're getting into, and to choose the right community to live in. And if you haven't been away from Jamaica for many, many years, or even a foreigner coming to Jamaica, I suggest you start off with in a gated community. They're safe, and most gated communities have just about everything that you need to have in terms of your luxury and the place, that you want to live on. You want to make sure it's comfortable. And most of the gated community that I know of is a very comfortable place to be at. And that's what I strongly recommend. Do your research, check out the different communities, gated communities, and choose one And after that, you take your time and get to know the country. And you're able to drive around safely without any problems whatsoever. But one last thing I'd like to mention about our organization and the directive in which I'd like to take our organization. As you know, we have a chicken farm. We're in. I produce 300 eggs every morning, and I have my honey, which I produce 200 bottles a year, and I do cow bananas, plants, and you name it. Every piece of part of our food chain that can be grown here in Jamaica, we try to do. So my objective for this year is to find a property, a piece of land that can put a farm on, so we can move away from our resource center and give you guys that place across the road to expand your hotel. But that's my goal, is to get a 10-acre farm going in which we put up a cultural center, and within 5 years, make it as popular as Rick's Cafe in terms of the type of stuff that we're going to have on our 10-acre farm, teaching the children so many different things. As you know, we're associated with many different organizations, medical organization, and all of that we'd like to have on that farm in terms of a showroom to showcase the children, the artifacts that they make, different programs from Boy Scout football, you name it. You know, some of our children have been doing some fantastic work, and we'd like to showcase that to our tourists. And that farm, tourists can come in and purchase a tree, and we'll have trees planted in a way in which you have banana lane, coconut grove, you name it. And it's much more, too much, there's not enough time to tell you all the details on that. But that's our goal. We'd like to get a 10-acre farm where we teach our children farming and how to grow their own food. We encourage the children to eat well and to be a part of what we call growing and eating your own food.
All right. Thank you for that update, Dad. And of course, as you make progress with that, I will make sure that my YouTube audience and subscribers know about it, and we'll get the word out.
Absolutely. I'm gonna need all the help I can, all hands on board to make this possible. And remember, it's not about me personally, it's about our children, the future of our children, the future of our country. And the more children I can educate and get them off the road, the less our crime situation will be in our country. So thank you so very much for having me on your program. And it's just a wonderful pleasure being here and being a part of what you do.
All right. Thank you, Dad, for taking the time out and joining us here today. And we will definitely get together and do an official podcast and do an episode. Hopefully sometime early in this new year, or at some point this year for sure. We'll do it. Getting a lot of nice comments. I'll read a couple of them to you while you're here.
Certainly, absolutely.
Sorry, let me scroll up a little bit. So just sorry, everybody. I just want to make sure, just share some of your comments with my dad while he's here. So just a lot of commendations about talking about your organization, commenting on your organization. Awesome. Lisa says, Happy New Year to Throp and Dad. Happy New Year, Lisa.
Oh, thank you.
Ingrid says, your dad is very handsome. Lisa, wow, like father, like son. You guys are both beautiful people. Awesome. Thank you. What else? Roger says, it's awesome that your dad is so active and still doing well. He makes everyone feels welcome. George says, Happy New Year, brother. Love what you and the old man are doing in Jamaica. I hope I can help out with some sponsor. Northampton, England. That's where he's commenting from.
Awesome. Thank you so very much, my friend.
Let's see what else. Christine says, yes, sir. I agree. Jamaica nice. Country gal says, Liko but with Talawa.
Indeed.
Naya says, can't wait to return home. Lisa says, facts. The love your dad has for Jamaica is why you're there now. That is very true. Very true, Lisa. Donna says, excellent. Rachel says, what a magnificent human being. Blessed.
Thank you so much.
Lisa, blessings to your dad and your family always. T-Ray says, wow, I want to look like that when I'm in my 80s. Let's see. Donna says, I would love that to be my Sunday routine. Lisa says, your dad is a pioneer. Donna says, your dad is a mover and a shaker.
Oh.
Another Donna says, he's a true visionary, excuse me. Christina says, visionary indeed. Country Gal says, very nice visions. Farming, so important in Jamaica, especially organic. And last comment from Sade, Throp, I can see where you get your great looks from. Thank you, Sade. Now you know what you're going to look like when you're on your 80s, I guess so, right? If I'm so lucky. Paula says, nice to see you, sir. Vinci for life says your dad should have his own podcast.
I don't want to put you out of business.
Yeah, you don't want to put me out of business? All right.
I'm just kidding, man. You're doing such a wonderful job. I couldn't come near you in any way.
I don't know about that. Thank you. And then Shauna says, I may have to make a visit to Negril, to your property when I visit it in February, March. Definitely would love to have you, Shauna. Shauna says, I love how he is working, showing love to JA with the community where he is doing work. Happy New Year. Shia Rock says, put my dad's info up. I'll put it back up in a second. Mm-hmm. And Ken says, looking forward to swim with you soon. Your dad soon. Miss you all.
Okay, awesome.
So that's all the comments.
I want to thank each and every one of you for your wonderful comment. It's much, much appreciated. Just consider having us in your prayers and your support. Please share this with as many as you can, because like I said before, it takes a village, and I need all the help I can to make these changes for our country, for our youths in our country who needs the help. And we just want to thank you so much. Thank you, each and every one. God bless you all. Have a wonderful, wonderful New Year.
All right. Thank you, Dad. Okay, I'm just going to switch the camera back around. Give me 1 second, and we'll get back to the beach view and to our agenda. All right, so let's switch this around. All right, so this is facing south down the beach here. Oh, yeah? Okay. All right, I got a little help. Ali's helping me out. Okay, so lost connection. The camera plugged it went off. All right, so Ali's fixing the camera. I'll just plug it back in. All right, so Ali's fixing the camera, and we'll get back to the agenda. So that was pretty cool having my dad on. Wasn't sure what we were going to be talking about, but had him on. Seemed like you guys enjoyed it. Got a little bit of value and inside info from him, which was cool. Hold on, let's see if we get that second camera up and running. Nope, still not running. So we're working through some technical difficulties here, but we'll get it. Is it on? All right, let's see if we can get it up. There we go. All right, we're back. All right, so this is facing south. This is south looking towards the west end. And as you can see, got a few people here, a few people hanging out at Travelers, enjoying the beach. The weather is pretty nice. Let me see if I can get you an exact temperature here. It says it's 84 degrees. You got to be kind of weary with this. It is a little warm, but there is like a really, really nice breeze. So it doesn't feel super hot or anything like that. So it's beautiful, beautiful Sunday afternoon here in Negril, here in Westmoreland on the southern part of Negril. And got like I said, quite a few people here on the beach enjoying hanging out. Water is slightly choppy, definitely still swimmable, but usually it's like a lake out here, especially in the mornings. It's super calm, super serene. the sea, but got a little breeze coming off the ocean, off the sea, and bringing in a little chop, but that's okay. Like I said, still super, super swimmable, nothing too crazy. And luckily, we don't really have any rip currents on a regular basis here. It's usually, again, pretty calm and looking super, super beautiful out here. So, yeah, I guess back to my dad and the combo that we just had with him. As I mentioned, I definitely want to have him on the podcast to do like a real, not a real, I mean, that was a real podcast, that was a real conversation, but, you know, maybe something a little bit more structured. And he just has so much advice and knowledge. And I feel really lucky to have him as my dad. Just, you know, you have your life, business, knowledge all combined in one person. And I really lean on him for advice and for guidance, especially with things that I'm doing here. So I feel lucky to have him as a resource, and I'm more than happy to share him with you all as a resource as people are considering and are in different stages of their life, and perhaps even considering spending an extended period of time here in Jamaica, are in Negril, and are looking for a little bit of guidance. And that's really one of the main goals of the podcast here and of the various guests that I have on, is to share their experience and share their knowledge with you. Because most of the people who I have on, I would say every single person has a vested interest in Jamaica, and they are, hold on one sec. Ali, just switch it that way. Yeah, sorry about that. So they have a vested interest in Jamaica, and so they want to see Jamaica do well. They want to see Negril do well, and this is part of the reason why they're so, everybody who I've had on is like just very happy to share their story, because they have the same vision and really just the same spirit, if you will, in their hearts, to see Jamaica, to see Negril reach its full potential. And if they can assist in doing that, in sharing their stories and sharing their experience, and then also being able to, for you all perhaps to even learn from some of the mistakes that they have made, and to help you along your journey and your path, and perhaps make you see the possibilities of Jamaica, and make you see the possibilities of Negril, I mean, all the better. So I think with my father, he's just one of those people that has that about him and has that experience. And he gives me a lot more advice. Like when I ask him, like we have all like one-off conversations about retiring here and about people who retire here. And it just really helps. I think in my mind, it would help people who are considering retiring here to hear his advice. So at some point in time, we'll definitely get him on, and I will let you know before he comes on, and I'll put out maybe like a questionnaire or something of that nature to just line up any questions that you have, so we can really get the most out of my dad. Because as we mentioned in our conversation, he lived in New York for over 50 years and then transitioned down here, or retransitioned down here, moving back to Jamaica, setting up a business, starting it from scratch, being successful at it, and then transitioning me and my two brothers here. And that came with all of its challenges in succession planning. And so there were just a lot of elements to that. You know, it's not just somebody who's giving up a life in New York or in the United States and moving down here. It's making a whole transition for our family. And we were all born and raised in New York, you know, me, except for my youngest brother. He was born in Fiji, but raised in New York. All of us. So at the end of the day, we are, from a cultural and lifestyle standpoint, we are American, and we moved down here and we made the conscious decision that we thought that this was the best opportunity for us in our life, and eventually our families, when we do decide to set up and have a family and grow our family and set up the next generation. We thought that Jamaica was our best opportunity to give ourselves and our children and our children's the best lifestyle and the best life possible. And I think my dad thought the same thing. So there's a lot of dynamics that goes into just making that maybe simple choice that my dad made at the time to move down here and set up shop. And it has had rippling effects, and I'd like to think very, very positive rippling effects for my life and my family's life as well. So with that, looking forward to having my dad hop on again and come on the podcast and having more more meaningful and a little bit more in-depth discussion about what that was like. So that is the website for my dad's nonprofit organization. I'm going to hop into some of these comments here and let's get caught up. And of course, we are broadcasting live from Travelers Beach Resort on the deck at the restaurant. If you're just joining, thank you so much. We just got off doing an interview with an ad hoc interview with my dad. If you missed it, it was pretty informative. Talked a lot about his nonprofit organization and also a little bit about his lifestyle and his schedule here in Jamaica, here in Negril, and what he does at 81 years old. So let me scroll up a little bit and get into some comments. Happy New Year to everybody. If you didn't hear me say it, Happy New Year to you. Thank you so much for being here. Okay, Country Gal is asking, where is Travelers in relation to Royalton? So if you are looking at the view there, Royalton is at pretty much, you can see the island in the distance. Actually, I'm not sure, on the off center. And it's Royalton is to the right of that. So you're looking at about, I would say, 4.5 miles from Travelers, almost exact, because I run the beach and I run the road very often. So almost exactly 4.5 miles from Travelers. And Ali is gonna zoom in so you can see. He's gonna zoom in all the way there. Yeah, zooming right in. He's going in. And so that is pretty much, so right at the tip there, that is hedonism / Point Village. And then if you go around the tip, then Royalton is right next to Point Village. So like I said, about 4.5 miles, 4.5 miles that way. Thank you for the question, Country Gal. Hope that helps. And Ali is panning the beach and panning the 7 miles. So this is 5. So as I mentioned before, I want to be clear that Negril is 7 miles of white sand beach for sure, but it's 5 and 7. So what you're seeing now is 5 miles. So this is about maybe a little less than 5 miles, because there is a little bit more beach going towards downtown, maybe about another, maybe about 600 meters, I would say, more of beach. So we're a little less than 5 miles. So this entire strip is Long Bay. This is 5 miles. And then around that bend that I just showed you, that is Bloody Bay, and that makes up 2 miles, and that makes up the total of the 7 mile beach here in Negril. So just giving everybody an idea of the layout of the beach. 5 and 2. Thank you again for the comment, the question, Country Gal. All right, let's go through some more comments here. Yvonne says, beautiful beach. We're ready to come home. All right, home is ready to welcome you. Beautiful day indeed here, Naya. Yeah, the sea is very nice today. Very, like I said, a little bit of chop, but like I said, very, very swimmable. Hi, Sophia. All right, Ali is panning for us. Got the glass bottom boat over there. Isaiah, I truly had the same relationship with my father. Awesome, awesome. Peace to you as well. And Hicks, great interview with Winston. Can't beat your father-son connection. Thank you. London in the house. Vaughn is coming up in February. Awesome. Less than a month to go till February. Sade has a question. Can you do profiles version interviews so that we can hear his success story? I'm referring to JATV show Profiles. Yeah, my dad actually was on Profiles, actually, with Ian. I think that's the name of the show, with Ian Boeing, years ago. And he went through his whole history of New York and how he came down here, which was amazing, and how it got started. So we'll definitely, okay. We'll definitely get to doing something of that nature for sure. And we'll get in depth and in detail. Like I said, I give you a chance to ask any questions that you have of my dad, and I'll put that out. More comments. Shana, yes, having great conversations about creating generational wealth, which is beyond money. That's right. That's the idea. Great question. All the way from Blythewood, South Carolina. Hey, Regina. Thanks for listening and thanks for chiming in. Happy New Year. Your live stream is a highlight every week. Awesome, awesome. I plan to be there in May, June. I will be here. Awesome. Looking forward to hopefully meeting you and chatting when you're down here. No building higher. Okay, good comment. Good question here. I thought Negril had a bylaw that said no building higher than the tallest palm tree. Royalton way higher than that. Yes, it is. So that actually was the truth. That was the law, but Royalton was the first property to change that rule. So, or that law, I should say. And there was a lot of controversy, which I will not get into here. I was in a leadership position in the community when that whole thing went down. Pretty crazy, astonishing stuff. And I can speak to it from a personal perspective. But nonetheless, the law has changed, and now you're able to go up to 4 stories, I believe. I don't remember the exact height, but you're able to go up to 4 stories, and Royalton is indeed 4 stories legally. And the law was changed just in time for them to build at that height. But it is what it is at this point in time. And they're actually looking and considering raising the height limitation to, I've heard, as high as 10 feet 10 stories. I've heard as high as 10 stories that they might be changing the height requirements or height allowability, if you will, to, and that's not just hearsay or conjecture. This is coming from very credible sources. And I mean, you feel how you feel about it, about it. I just hope when it is done, or if that is true and that does come to fruition, that it's done in an environmentally safe way and a healthy way for the community and the surrounding communities, and that there is a lot of positive to that. But for right now, the law has changed from the tallest coconut tree, and now it is at 4 stories, as a matter of fact, right now. Thank you for that. Sorry, the sun's in my eye. Leonie Wallace, I've just found you the last few days, and I'm just loving looking back at your interviews. I really want to make it to Jamaica my home, but unfortunately, I'm not able to afford to come home. Well, hopefully at some point you will. But that's so cool that you found my channel, and hopefully some of the interviews and content that I put out helps you assist you in achieving your dream. And you never know. I think anything is possible as long as you can put your mind to it. And I, of course, don't know your personal situation, but if I can assist in any way possible through my content and through my channel, I'm here. But thank you for hopping on. Let's see, got a few more comments here. Yvonne, God bless your dad. He looks good for his age. He will continue to look good in beautiful Jamaica. I agree. You can hop back and watch the interview. You can scroll back after we finish this live session, and you can always check it out. And I will be posting this as well. It'll be on my channel. Yeah, I'm not sure where you can find that profile interview, but it's there. It's there for sure. Maybe through a Google search, and if I find it, I'll post it in the community tab as well. Got Elvis here, planning to visit your hotel in February, and I'm traveling around Jamaica via bus, etc. How far is the Knuxford stop from the hotel, and can I get a taxi? An approximate cost? Thanks. Great question. So Knuxford is actually, I want to say, I don't even think a 400-meter walk. So very walkable. So a lot of people who do travel by bus and travel the island that way and are staying with us here at Travelers, they literally just walk from Knuxford here. And if they have to take Knuxford to get to Kingston or another part of the island from travelers. They just walk there. So very, very walkable. If you have a lot of luggage and you can't walk and it's too much for you to walk within your hand, you can take a taxi. If it's, I mean, you can take a route taxi, and that would be, I should know this, but it used to be 180. Let's call it 200 to be safe for a route taxi. And so 200 Jamaican dollars, I'm sorry. So that's maybe less than $2. It's less than $2 to get from the Nexford Express to here at Travelers, because it's so short. That's if you're taking a route taxi. A chartered taxi, they would probably charge you, the tourist price would probably be $1,000, but I would say it's more worth $500. That's my opinion. But I can find out and get that exact for you, or maybe if I can get somebody and ask them here, they can tell me what the price is, but not crazy expensive, very, very affordable. So we're, that's another positive. We're very close to the Nexford Express here. So for those that don't know, Nexford Express is a bus company, much like a Bolt bus or maybe a Greyhound in the States. And they go all over the island in these coach buses, very, very comfortable seating. I've seen before. AC, smooth ride, super professional. And they play, at least when I was on there, they were playing movies. I didn't pay too much attention to, but I thought it was very, very comfortable, very first world, if you will. And so you also have that as an option if you're looking to get around the island. Very, very affordable too. I believe, don't quote me on this price, the last time I went, which was a few years ago, I believe I paid 4,300 Jamaican dollars, which right now would probably be about $35, maybe $35. I would say about that. It might be, I would assume that it went up, but that's just off the cuff. Don't hold me to that, but giving you guys a little bit of a ballpark figure about how much it would cost to go from here to Kingston or Kingston to here. And again, walkable distance to Travelers. Let's keep going. Beach looks beautiful. Perfect. Sorry. It does indeed. Winston Jail cooking and discovery on TV. Hello, host Throp. Wishing you a happy new year. Thank you so much. Thank you for hopping on. 10 stories will change the tropical layout. Hey, I agree. It will definitely change Negril. I don't necessarily want, I mean, it's my personal opinion. We don't need Negril turning into a little Miami, right? I like it, but things change. Nothing stays the same, right? So who knows what it's going to turn into? But again, I just hope that is safe for the environment and really helps out the people of the greater Negril community. Sinner Love, thanks for hopping on. Thank you for your comment. Minerva, another great job. Throp, nice to meet you and your dad. You should visit again. Yes, we will have him visit again for sure. And Donna says, Nexford Express is wonderful. Used it in November from Mobay to Kingston. All protocols observed. Oh, perfect. So this is an updated real world price. She paid $29 for her ticket. So they obviously taking the North Coast to Kingston. I believe, I'm assuming that's what they took down on Montego Bay to Kingston for $29, which is a little bit further than Negril, or an hour and a half further. So I guess that would explain the little bit of price increase, if you will, compared to the price that I had given my experience. So thank you for that information, Donna. Shauna says, Nexford Express is a great way to travel the island at a low cost. I've used it twice when I was there. It's also a courier service throughout the island as well. Great point. Yes, so we've used Nexford Express here. If we say if we are ordering something from Kingston, they can put it on their one of their schedule routes, and they whatever package is there. I've ordered running gels and from a company in Kingston. I can't remember the name of the company, but they put it on the bus. I pick it up. I pay for the delivery. which I can't remember the price, but it's very affordable. And they do like anything from something very small to very large. I've seen one, like the biggest thing I've seen on there was a bumper for a car, and they just put it on the bottom of the bus. But it just goes to show you the variety of the different types of items that they can courier to you from different parts of the islands. And of course, if you are doing business here or want to get something to another part of the island, you can also use the services for that, which I think is very super Jamaican, and I applaud it, making, doubling down. Yeah, of course you're transporting people to different parts of the islands, but why not also transport goods, right? And so I commend them for that. They're super, super entrepreneurial, and it works, again, super professional, super reliable as well, not only from the bus perspective and transportation perspective, but also in moving items around the island. So thank you for that. I think that's a great piece of information there, Shauna. We'll love you, Ocean Gray. We'd love you see me interview my brothers. Sure, if they're willing. I don't know. I doubt they want to come on. But we'll see. Maybe at some point they would come on. That's actually one of my brothers hopping on that glass bottom boat right there. But no, I don't know if they would come on at some point. Well, who knows? Winsome, enjoyed the interview immensely. You and your dad are awesome. Best wishes for the new year. Thank you for tuning in, Winsome, and thank you for the kind words. Marcia, all the best for the new year. Your channel has encouraged to stay in Jamaica, owned hotel the next time I'm there. I hope so. I think that's super important, and it really helps. Even if you're not staying with us here at Travelers, like staying at like when I travel the island, and there's nothing wrong with staying in international hotels. Don't get me wrong, and I have nothing against them at all. But I know if I can stay at a local property that I know that and I know this from my point of view as a business owner and as a hotel owner, is that all of our money stays here. Like everything that we invest and everything that we make stays in Jamaica, and it stays in the community. And I'm not going to say that for other properties, but I bet you that most of the dollars that those small properties and local properties make are staying right here in Jamaica. I can guarantee you that. And I know it because I see it happening at other properties. I can speak to Negril and other small hotels in Negril and other small businesses. They're looking to invest back into their business and looking to invest back in the hotel, because in the community, because it has a vested interest in them. The more the community does better, the more they do better, right? Rising tide lifts all ships. And I think that is the mentality that we have here in Negril and as small business owners in Jamaica. So yeah, I encourage you to stay at a small hotel or a locally owned hotel here in Jamaica when you come, for sure. Oh, and Donna's just confirming that she did take the North Coast route on the Nexford Express. Keep up the good work, Marcia. Keep up the good work, Mr. Winthrop. Love your content. Watching from New York. Awesome. Thank you for tuning in. I'm sorry. Sade's giving Elvis some advice about reserving the seat. I think that's a good idea. This is on the Nexford Express. Sophia, love you to have your dad on the show. He is full of knowledge. He definitely is. And we are going to get him back on here at some point on an official podcast episode. Veins of African blood. What's your view on Jamaican beaches getting smaller because of global warming? We have, I'll speak to Negril. So, and I was actually a big, for a few years, this took up a lot of my time, like fighting for this, as a matter of fact. So we do have a beach erosion problem throughout Jamaica, but I can speak specifically to Negril, and unfortunately, it's something that we do have. We have negative growth, And I've spoken about this in previous lives, and I'm happy to continue to speak about it. And even with our property here, I want to say, if you see where the shoreline is right there on your view, our beach was, I would say, I want to say at least another 30 feet, maybe another 50 feet out there, larger than what it is right now. And just over the years, we have lost beach. We've had the beach be half of what it is at one point. And I'm not even exaggerating, where we can only, between the deck here and the water line, you could only fit one beach chair. And we are fortunate enough that it has come back, but it has not come back to the point where we bought the property. And there are several reasons as to why has happened, and I can give you the three big ones. One is due to wave action and also major weather events. We don't have a thriving reef that we used to have that slows down and blocks wave action. So when that happens, especially when we have these nor'easters, it comes in and eats away at the beach. The other aspect of it is overfishing. And as you know, the fish, I believe the parrotfish, as a matter of fact, are the ones who replenish the sand. And that's how sand is replenished naturally. And when that happens, when overfishing happens, it just messes up the entire ecosystem of Negril. And that happens anywhere in the world, right? And when you just have these, like, there's a lot of, I'm sure you've heard in the South China Sea, like they're just a massive overfishing, and it's totally destroying the entire ecosystem over there. And it's not to that extent here by any means, but it still is a factor. The other factor as well is, and it plays into the reef and it plays into the fishing, is water pollution, and we have to keep our beaches, our oceans, our seas, we have to keep them clean and do our best to not allow pollutants to get in there, because once you start polluting and having years and decades of pollution going into the sea and it starts killing off the reef, then that's obviously going to increase the wave action. And especially when we have these novel weather events that are naturally going to happen. And as you mentioned here in the comments, veins of African blood, is that with global warming, these weather events that happen are going to be more severe and also more frequent. And when that happens, of course, that plays into the whole thing. So it's like a numerous amount of factors as to why this degradation of our beach happens over many years. But if we don't do something about it collectively, then yeah, I'm sure everyone has heard what's happened to Hellshire Beach, and it's just not what it used to be, and I've never been to Hellshire, but I've seen pictures of the severe losses over there. I'm not sure if it's still like that at this point in time, but no way do I want something like that to happen here in Negril. And so if we can do something which we are, as a community, this is something that we have been fighting for and working on and working towards to maintain our beach. But thank you for your comment. I hope that that addressed it. But I can talk a long time about that because I was so involved. Sade, do you know that the Knuxford is a German-owned company? No. As far as I know, it is a Jamaican company unless it was sold. As far as I know, the Townsends own it. But I could be wrong. Let's get some more comments here. Benny asked if it's a Jamaican-owned, Knuxford is a Jamaican-owned company. As far as I I thought it was a Jamaican-owned company, but I'm hearing that it's German-owned. But I will follow up and make sure and find out exactly. Sheldon is asking the rates per night here at the hotel. It depends. It depends So I'll just give you a range depending on the type of room that you're going for. So you're looking at anywhere from $100 a night. This is for our bungalows, wooden cabins, up to $280 a night for our suites, and these are in season rates. So pretty much right now until the beginning of April, those are the rates. So that kind of gives you a range of the cost of staying here at Travelers. Thank you for the question. A lot of these hotels in Jamaica are foreign owned, Spanish, etc. Yep, many of the large all inclusives are internationally owned properties. Ingrid says she stays as Jamaicans. We need to stay at hotels that are owned by Jamaicans. Yep, I encourage that. I support that. Shauna asks, do you get a lot of guests that live in Jamaica that visit your property for staycations, or mostly foreigners? I will say during the pandemic, especially when the island was shut down, it was Jamaicans who supported us, and I think that came to be almost the norm. Staycations, that you said, that a lot of people were staying, obviously we couldn't really move around, but they were, sorry, losing a little focus here. See if we can get that back. There we go. They were staying in Jamaica, and they were staying at local hotels, and sorry, still losing focus. Can we get the focus? It's the sunlight. Sorry that it's out of focus, but it's the sun is like beaming right on my face, and it's hard for the camera to focus. But anyway, we were shut down, and many Jamaicans decided to travel around the island. And so even now, I would say even before the pandemic, as a hotel property, like many of our guests are Jamaicans, and we do have a lot of, and when I say Jamaicans who are living here, and of course we get Jamaicans who live abroad and also stay here, but many of our guests, I would say, are Jamaicans who are from other parts of Jamaica. So that's really encouraging to see, and we have a lot of locals staying with us. Veronica says Jamaica sells most of all their countries to foreign investors. That is bad for the island. I don't know that to be true. I know that recently there has been a lot of foreign direct investment coming into Jamaica. These huge mega hotels, and a lot of them are coming on board. Yeah, you can look at that as good or bad, depending. I would love to see some more support for the small entities, for the small properties, for sure, by the government. I understand that we do need foreign direct investment coming into the system, and they do provide great service and a lot of opportunities for locals. But nonetheless, it's been proven through studies that we as small hoteliers are contributing on a per capita basis more than these hotels. Not even per capita, on a real dollar basis, because so much more of our money does stay in the country. And this was a study. This is indeed a fact. And this was a study that was done many years ago. Does that still remain to be true? I'm not sure, but I know that study did prove that from a quantitative standpoint. Sorry, trying to get through all the comments. Sorry if I'm breezing through them, but we've been here 90 minutes. But I do want to get to everybody's comments. The wildlife is also decreasing, which is so sad, as there is some beautiful wildlife in Jamaica. There is beautiful wildlife. We even have the Royal Palm Reserve here in Negril, which is goes through the Great Morass, actually. And if you saw the video podcast that I did with Daniel Grizzle, there's some great drone shots of the Great Morass, and maybe I will get some up there as well. But that also is a huge contributing factor to the white sand beach and the ecosystem of Jamaica and Westmoreland. And we're actually working on re-wetting the morass, which is very, very important, because we do have brush fires. Sometimes it is natural, because there is peat, which is very flammable, and that does set the morass on fire. And it's terrible for the wildlife. It's also terrible for us, because there is a lot of ash that flies in the air, and it's really, really unfortunate. But sometimes it's also done by arson. It's also done by people setting fires there. Whether it's intentional or not, maybe somebody's burning garbage, or maybe somebody is intentionally setting fire. I'm not sure. I've heard both, but nonetheless, it's not good for the environment. But again, there is a committee with local leadership that is working on re-wetting the morass, which is so important in maintaining the ecosystem that we have here. Winston Gel says, is Treehouse still operated? Yes, it is. Treehouse is still operated. So that is operated by Miss Gail Jackson Brooks. And she's doing a great job up there. That's another great small hotel that is locally owned that does amazing things for the community. Just one of, I mean, I feel like they're like, Gail is like one of those just silent. So I'm trying to get focus here. Do we get focus? No. Those she's one of those silent contributors to Negril that really has like a huge impact on the community with the environment, with her staff, with the giveaways that she does, and she's contributed so much to the development of Negril and continues to do so. And yeah, I would, if you are considering staying at a small hotel, I could definitely recommend Negril Treehouse as a property to stay at. They also host the Reggae Runners, which is a black female running group out of the U.S. and they come and they participate in Reggae Marathon. When we used to have Reggae Marathon, unfortunately, due to the pandemic, it's been canceled for the last 2 years. Or I should say it's been running virtually for the last 2 years. But hopefully 2022, this year, we will come back with a bang. That's the first marathon that I've ever ran. So it is near and dear to my heart. And hopefully we can run Reggae Marathon 2022. And the Reggae Runners can come in full strength in 2022. As I mentioned, they stay and are hosted by Negril Treehouse. Again, great small property. All right, let's get through these comments. Shana says, circulate the money within the island for more sustainable economy. Don't disagree with that. Another question, Sinolove. Do you need a moderator for comments on your channel when you go live? I'd be happy to help. Yes. Okay. I will. We're already in contact, so I will take you up on that. That would really assist. I don't know too much about this streaming platform. So if we can if there is a way that you can help me virtually, that would be awesome. Thank you for that. You're welcome. Marcia says Knuxford is a Jamaican owned company. Yep, I thought so. Okay. All right. So sorry, Ingrid is having a separate conversation. And the comments, yeah, please, I encourage that. I mean, it says I was in Mobay for a week in July, and I was told that they were very, I guess, few Jamaican hotel. I think that's what you meant, Ebony. Very few Jamaican-owned hotels. I can say for here in Negril, I want to say it's about 50-50. This is just me kind of just thinking about what it looks like up and down the beach and where it was. From a room count standpoint, I want to say there is more non-Jamaican owned hotels than this is just, I'm just kind of thinking because there's been like thousands of rooms that have been created lately or developed lately, and they're mostly foreign owned hotels. So this is just me thinking. I could be wrong, but here in Negril, as far as like a property standpoint, I want to say it's about 50-50 and trending leading towards the side of it being more foreign owned. For sure, it is trending in that direction. It is what it is. Sorry, I'm just like thinking as I'm speaking here. But good question. Ayoka says, I've only stayed at Travelers once, and I found out it was Jamaican proprietorship. First visit was in 2007. Wow, awesome. Way back in the day. So I moved here in 2006, so a year after I moved here, and was there recently in December 2020. Awesome. Thank you so much for staying with us and supporting us. Oh, thank you. Elvis asked, how far are we from Rick's Cafe? I would say, so Rick's Cafe is on the west end. It was ranked top 10 beaches top 10 bar in the world, one of the top 10 bars in the world. And so I don't know from a mile perspective, but we're about a 15-minute drive. It's not that far, but it's just a windy road. If you know the West End, you can't really drive it too fast, and it is a windy road. And of course, if you're trying to get there, at sunset, it can be there can be a lot of traffic. So just keep that in mind. It's one of the more famous places that people go to watch the sunset. Rick's Cafe, that's kind of what it's known for. Bit of a tourist trap, but if you've never been here and never been to Negril, it's like one of those things like you got to do. They also have cliff jumping as well over there, which I don't necessarily recommend. A lot of people get hurt, but I love doing it. I jump from it. I've jumped from it many, many times. So if you're adventurous or a little bit of an adrenaline junkie, definitely recommend giving that a try. I've done that before. I love jumping from there. It's a lot of fun. I've been doing it since I was a kid. Nick, where do you see Negril in 25 years in popularity, development, and safety? Is Negril on the way up or on the way down? Great question, Nick. Definitely, I would say Jamaica in general is definitely on the way up. I can't remember in recent history seeing the amount of foreign investment coming here, and I put that in context. I would say in the last 5 to 7 years, and I've been here about 16 years, and we're talking about billions of dollars in investment. And I'm speaking particularly to the hospitality and hotel industry. That's just what I know and what I'm akin to. And so I have never seen it like this before. And it just makes me think, when you got these multinational, multi-billion dollar companies, they have a lot of resource and access to information that the common folks don't have. And so I always think, man, they must know something that we don't, or maybe we do know it, but they, for whatever reason, they think and see Jamaica as a very, very viable investment, and they are putting action behind their words, and they're putting money behind their words, and they're putting a lot of money into investing in Jamaica. So from that perspective, it's definitely on the way up. And then same thing with Negril. There are tremendous amount of, pandemic aside, I actually can include the pandemic. There is a tremendous amount of increase in investment that's happening here in Negril, and new property ownership. And to answer your question directly, I would say take a look at the podcast that I did with Daniel Grizzle, and talking about retiring in Jamaica. And he's my around my dad's age. I believe he is, I'll say around my dad's age. I don't want to give away his exact age, but he's a senior person, and with a ton of business experience, a ton of Negril experience and knowledge. And he is very, very bullish on Negril and on Jamaica. And so am I. And this is not just saying because I'm here as a hotelier and business owner, but it's also from the perspective that I've seen the growth and the changes and the investment in the 15, 16 years that I have been here. And I think it is a great time to invest. And I think 25 years from now, Negril is going to look very different. I think we're going to be a very international community, which we already are. We are a very international community. A lot of expats from all over the world have decided to retire here and make Negril their home. And I believe that's going to continue to be the trend. And people are going to continue to look to Negril and look to Jamaica for their retirement and now for investments. And I think there is a tremendous amount of potential in Jamaica. I think there's a tremendous amount of potential in Jamaica. And so, no, it's okay. And so, if you're looking to invest and you're looking to put money somewhere, I think now is a good time to do it. I think there's so much that's going to happen. There's also so much need as far as like infrastructure and as far as different businesses in Negril that is just, this doesn't exist, but the community would appreciate. And I think also you would continue to attract different types of people from all over the world. As I mentioned, like simple things like a movie theater, a bowling alley, a coffee shop, that sort of thing. Ice cream shop. Oh, we have an ice cream shop, but just different things that you if you think of what you do socially wherever you are in the world, like, hey, does Negril have this that I like to do? Is there somewhere, I don't know, somewhere I can go get cotton candy or dessert, or we do like just think along those lines. And if you are familiar with Negril and you kind of can understand the gaps in terms of opportunities that are here, so that's how I would answer that question. Okay, still getting more comments. All right, I gotta breeze through these guys. We're at an hour and 45 minutes, which is cool. I'm more than happy to be here, but I do want to get to everybody's questions and comments. Throp, I was wrong. You're right. Jamaican owned Oliver Townsend. Yep. Okay, cool. Founder and CEO of Nexford Express. Cool. Thank you for that. All right. Ingrid says, I love Rick's Cafe. Shana, I would love to learn more about real estate investment in Jamaica. Any resource to start in planning your upcoming mini conference? That was an impromptu idea in a previous stream. Yes, so that's a that's a good comment, good idea that we had from a previous stream. One sec. So in that stream, somebody had mentioned about doing a possible meetup, and then that conversation turned into having some sort of mini conference, which is cool. And I would love to do that this year at some point in time. And since that conversation and since that live, I have been bouncing some ideas off of friends and off of my team that I have here in terms of how we might be able to make that possible. But I definitely would like to do that. I would have loved to do it in May, but I think that the time period is just too short notice at this point in time. So maybe we have to do it sometime in October. And that might be the best time, but I will definitely put out a poll. I would love to meet as many of you as possible. And the idea behind the conference slash meetup would be to not just to meet me, like that's fine and great, but really it's like I'd want to say, hey, how could I give you, somebody who is potentially thinking about moving here, potentially thinking about spending a lot more time here, retiring here, how can I give you and arm you with as much information as humanly possible to assist you in making that final decision, or assist you in going along that journey and going along that path. And to me, it's more along the line of what I have already been doing, but doing it in a live platform and in a live way, and inviting many of the podcast guests that I've had and other experts in the field of real estate, in the field of finance, in the field of even retiring here and retirement plans, whatever have you, but all centralized around Jamaica, and giving you the opportunity to invest in them and be a part of different panel and not investing them, but being a part of having conversations with them and having panel discussions with them and hearing their story, and then you having an opportunity to sit down and speak with them and ask them questions directly. And to me, it's like that's the best way of how we can offer, or I can offer the most value to you. And you say, hey, maybe this is possible, or maybe saying, this is not for me. But to me, it's like it's better to go through the way I'm looking at it is going through a guided experience, if you will, as opposed to coming down here, or maybe just moving down here out the blue and it not being what you think it is. You know, to me, this is a way of dipping your toe in the water and doing it in a more structured format with essentially experts in the field of what you're trying to do and experts in the field of the lifestyle that you may be trying to achieve. And that's the thinking and the idea behind having the meetup / conference. So thank you for that question. Thank you for that comment, Shana. Let me continue to go through here. Ebony, for the longest time, I thought 7 Mile Beach was only in the Cayman Islands, where I spent a lot of my childhood. Nope, we got 7 miles right here. Ingrid said, I stayed at Rio. How far are you from Rio? So Rio is in, there's 2 Rios here. There's Rio Tropical Bay and Rio, I forget the name of the other one. I'm sorry, but there's 2 of them. So they're both in Bloody Bay. So Rio is about, I want to say about 5 miles north of Travelers, just about. So they're part of that. They're part of that 2 mile, on that 2 mile strip, that second 2 mile, second half. Negril would be a nice tech hub. This is my idea, Michael. You're speaking my language, and you could tell you could tell, like, I promise you, I've had this conversation with my friends here, my brothers. Like, I think Negril is like the perfect place to set up like a small tech hub, a mini Silicon Valley, if you will. And it's just so undeveloped, and I think especially young people, like, you can make it what you want it, and I mean this in a very positive way. And I think this has the infrastructure to become a tech hub, and we have the internet connection, which is very, very important. We have fiber running through here. I have better internet here in Negril than I do in New York. Does it go out sometimes? Yes, it does. I'm not going to lie about that, but we do have backups in terms of cell phone services and things of that nature. So there are redundancies in place, but nonetheless, it's very, very, very possible. And this would be, like, I think, would set Negril and Jamaica up for the next generation to come, turning this place into a tech hub. Great comment. You were exactly on the same page, Michael. Ingrid, let me see. I'm just trying to get the questions here before we close out. I don't want to miss any questions anybody has. I will switch you back to the beach view while I just scroll through the comments here for any questions. All right, I think we got. Oh wait, okay. Nope. I think we got all the questions here. And so with that, I'm going to start the close down process. We're almost at 2 hours, which is awesome. I super enjoy this, and I'll just breeze through some comments here. It's truly amazing how much Jamaica is loved across the globe. Really has a lot of untapped potential. So true, so true. Wonderful hearing about Jamaica from you. Some of the friendliest, most helpful people. Glad things have improved. I'm Jamaican and love Negril. Thank you for that, Jennifer. Shauna, October, your birthday month. Hey, maybe we can make it happen in October, and that would be awesome for you to come down for that. I'm planning. It's not just something I'm talking about. It's something that I really want to make happen. The conference. All right, Rachel, that's a good idea. As someone seriously ready to make a move to Jamaica as a Trini American, a meetup would be great. Okay, awesome. I will keep that in mind, Rachel. I think there are quite a few people who are interested in. It's just, for me, it's just taking the time out to work out the logistics. I mean, I think we got everything that we need to make it happen. So serious consideration on my part to make this conference happen, make it a reality. Byron checking in from Baltimore. What's up? Tony asked about the crime in Negril. I mean, in what respects? So we have, and I've said this on podcasts before, like, Negril is not a place where you, like, you're gonna walk down the street and somebody's gonna rob you. Like, that's not the type of place it is, or even like pickpocket you or anything like that. Does it happen? Yes. I mean, but that happens anywhere in the world. The beach is a relatively safe place as well to walk up and down. And I always tell people, if you're visiting here from anywhere, it's just like, use the same common sense that you would use back home. And, you don't go certain places at certain times of the night or certain times of the day. You don't go places that you're unfamiliar with. It's the same common sense that you would use wherever you're from, and I'm a New Yorker, maybe I have the natural street smarts that come with that, but anywhere that I go in this world, that stays with me. And I think if you just maintain that common sense about your safety, you're going to be fine. You're going to be A-okay. And I don't think Negril has any more crime than any other place I don't know this from a statistical standpoint, but just from anecdotally, from being here and from living here, and also having a business here that has a lot of international guests. Don't hear a lot about that in terms of safety. So that's why I ask, what types of crime are you talking about? And yeah, it does. Does it happen? Yes, for sure. I mean, I think one of the things that even as a country that we need to focus on that is not talked about, and I don't mean to put any pressure on anybody or any government agency, but it's like the road fatalities. I mean, that is like such a major issue that I don't think is talked about and done enough about. Fortunately, we have made progress here in Negril over the years, but it took so many people dying in car accidents and motorcycle accidents in Negril for these measures to be put in place. So the measures that I'm specifically talking about is, one, we have these medians at strategic parts of along the Norman Manley Boulevard that narrow the road, that the intention is to slow down cars as they approach the medians. And also, if you're crossing the street, the pedestrian is elevated slightly, and so people can see them. They're reflectors that need to be replaced, honestly, and so that helps with pedestrians crossing the street. So they're medians slash crosswalks, I should say. We also have street lights, crossing lights, crossing lights at crosswalks. Not every crosswalk has a crossing light, but they are there and they are strategically placed throughout the boulevard. That's also supposed to quell the pedestrian accidents with road fatalities. And the last measure that we have in place is the rumble strips that are throughout I don't know how many there are, but there are quite a few on the Norman Manley Boulevard. A lot of locals hate them. I know taxi drivers don't like them because it does slow them down, and they also say that it ruins their car. But it's so necessary. It's so necessary having those rumble strips because of the amount of fatalities that I have seen and unfortunately experienced firsthand of loss of life in front of me. And I say this all the time. I moved here when I was 22. 22 years living in New York. Like, I've never seen anybody die or pass away or anything like that in front of me, and or witness any crazy trauma with accidents or anything like that. And first year I moved here is the first time I witnessed a car accident and see somebody die in front of my face. And I mean, it's just been kind of like a death road in front of the hotel here, unfortunately, and then along the boulevard as well. But the measures that have been put in place, I mean, we used to probably have, and I'm not exaggerating, probably, if not a fatal accident every month, like a horrific car accident at least once a month in front of our property, because we have 2 S curves coming into where Travelers is. However, since that has been put in place, and the median and now the median, I mean, I think if I'm not, just from what I know, only one person has died in front of our property, which is one of the highest rated accidents. And this is not anecdotal. This was a study done by the I forget what they're called, the road traffic department, if you will. And this was a high risk strip, and this is why they put these measures in place. But since they've done it, I mean, it has gone way down. And so I have to commend the government for putting these measures in place. But even throughout other parts of the island, I think there needs to be a tremendous focus on road fatalities, on, I don't know, defensive driving courses, whatever have you. The bike guides wearing helmets. Most of the accidents, and I'm not sure if you're aware, like, we have a big bike problem in Westmoreland. Bikes are an absolutely necessary for our communities. Like, we need bike taxis to get workers to and from work, to and from home, to work, because some of these lanes of where many of our community members live are not accessible by cars or by traditional 4-wheel vehicles, and bike taxis are the only way to go. So we need them, but at the same time, we don't want them to die. You know, we don't want if you're going to be on a bike taxi or you're going to be on a bike, we don't want you to die, and we don't want you to lose your life, especially a lot of our men here, unfortunately. And then on top of that, it does, and even if you don't die and if you do get injured, you're also putting a strain on the already strained healthcare system that we have here, especially with Corona. And we don't want you to be walking around and are being crippled or being in a wheelchair or limping around, whatever have you, you know. And so if we could put measures in place to avoid that or kind of bring those numbers down. And I know I'm going on and on about this, but it's something that I'm very passionate about. And I think something that we continue to do, because as I just recently explained, when measures are put in place of the nature that I just explained, there is a difference. You do save lives. And so, again, I don't think that is being talked about enough or being put to the forefront. I know we talked about the crime, but again, road safety. I know the statistics, they put out the statistics there about road fatalities, but what about road injuries? And so I think that is something that we should be bringing to the forefront. And thankfully, again, here in Negril, something major steps forward have been made. And again, I commend leadership and policymakers for making this happen and making the changes in our community, because it's for the safety of everybody. It's for the safety of our community members, it's for the safety of me, my family, guests. And yeah, it's a little bit slower on the boulevard driving. That's okay. It takes me 5 minutes longer each to and from work. I'm fine with that. If this is going to save lives and make a difference, I have no problem with that whatsoever. Sorry to go on and on about that. But we'll switch back to the beach view and we'll continue to go through these comments. 2 hours. This is a record. And thank you all so much for joining wherever you are in the world. And if I haven't said this before, Happy New Year to you. And thank you for joining the live stream. I hope you're enjoying it so far. Oh, you're welcome, Tony. No problem. T-Ray says, I agree, Throp. There are a lot of investments pouring into Jamaica. I'm here in St. Anne's. Transition here a few years ago, and I've seen it over those short few years. Yep, you're seeing it all over the island, and that's coming from somebody in St. Anne, which is, I don't think it's a bad thing. I don't necessarily think it's a bad thing. Okay, Tony's from UK, Birmingham. Sorry, getting a little thirsty here. All right, I think we're gonna start wrapping up here. This is an awesome discussion. I thank everybody for their comments and their well wishes for the new year. If you have any last minute questions, throw them in there. I'd be more than happy to help. But I think this was pretty fruitful discussion. We had my dad on, which is awesome. I think everybody liked that. It was cool sitting down and chopping it up with him and hearing him sharing a little bit about his nonprofit organization with you all. Hopefully you learned something. And again, if you guys want to find out a little bit more information about NEAT and what it does, and if you want to contribute, you can go to the website, neatja.com. I'll throw it up one more time and you can check it out. But this has been so much fun. Doing 2 hours here on the beach. I will do my best, like I said, continue to do this. I want to do this every Sunday. So at 12 o'clock, this seems like the best time as far as time zones. We get the East Coast and then we get our friends across the pond throughout Europe. And it seems to be working. And even Africa. We had somebody here from Ghana, which is so awesome. That's so cool that we're reaching so far all around the world. And if you're rewatching this, go ahead and leave your comments or questions in the comment section, and I will do my best to respond to them in a timely fashion. And I think we are going to leave it right there. And so I want to wish everybody a super happy new year. Happy 2022. I hope it's a prosperous one. I hope it's better than 2021 and we keep elevating and moving forward. I will be here. I will continue to do these live streams. So I'll be here again next Sunday at 12 o'clock Eastern time. We'll be right here on the deck again. And I'll be here to answer any questions and continue to update everybody on the channel. And of course, on the conference that we hopefully will have sometime this year. Sorry, the camera is out of focus again. But I think it's just having a hard time with the sun. But we are wrapping up here anyway. Thank you if you left a comment or a question. I appreciate it. I do my best to get through all of them. And Have a lot of exciting things coming up for 2022. I definitely want to double down on the content and on the podcast that we have here. We had a great 2021 with something that I just tried, spur of the moment, so to speak, and it just happened to work out. So we're going to continue this path, see where this journey leads us. And again, thank you all for joining me here today. Have a happy and healthy one, and I will get some shorts out this week. And of course, I will be here next week, same time, same place, 12 o'clock Eastern time, right here on the beach at Travelers Beach Resort on our restaurant deck. Thank you again. Happy New Year, everyone. See you next week. Bye-bye. I'm going to leave you with the beach.